All right, so we're back again for our daily vlog, daily podcast, daily videos, daily content in YouTube. I don't know what to call it anymore, but if there's one thing I do know is I'm gonna give you as much content as possible so you guys win, so you guys know how to trade with confidence. So for this video, what I did was I looked at YouTube. I looked at some of the comments that I most likely don't have videos yet, or I most likely don't have answers yet from a video perspective. And I'm going to answer them here. So, for those who have been sending questions and then I already have an answer for it, or I made the video, I normally just send the link. But for you guys who sent questions, tapos wala pa ako nagawang video dun, I'm making this for you. I got the 8 ones that I saw that were not yet answered, and we're gonna try to build as much content based off of that as possible. So same drill. If you guys have any questions even after this, or there's something that you like to know, the harder, I guess, the more interesting also, the better. So that if it also it's interesting to me, I hope it will also be interesting to a lot of people. So that's just that we all grow in this channel together. This is not. That's why if you notice, I always just call myself just we're just the same. We're all stock traders, investors. There's really no guru. There's no expert. It's just all of us learning and growing together. And this is just me. I just love stocks, and I just love sharing my information to all of you. And I hope that this tremendously adds value to you. So that's what we're gonna talk about for today. So the 8 ones, as you all know, a lot of you wanted it to be in a podcast format where we already lay out all the topics and the questions in the podcast. So the 8 topics that we will talk about for today is number one, cutting losses. And I'm sure that there's a broad majority also that want to know more about this. But the entire context of this cutting losses na question, I made videos already in cutting losses for trading. But the person who's asking this is asking for cutting losses from an investment perspective. So we're gonna answer that. Then number two, there was a question about Globe and PLDT when they were starting. How do they compare to where Dito is? Basically, they wanted to know how was the company at that time, how was Globe and PLDT at that time versus where Dito is now. So there could be a comparison. Number three, I mentioned this in the video that I made yesterday that Dito will not hit the uh, technical launch that they were supposed to do, or that's assigned for July 8th. And then there's a grace period. We're going to talk more about that. Then number four, technology stocks. Is there something that you can buy as a proxy in the Philippines? Number five, should you loan money? If you're good already in the stock market, na magbabayad ka na lang na 6%, 7% na loan, and then get the money, put it in the stock market, earn more. Then a couple of questions about SPC and the dividends that it gives. Number seven, is it okay to buy ABS-CBN stocks? And number eight, dollar-denominated investments, particularly for compounding. So I hope this is quite broad, that it helps you, it adds value to you, that this is something that will help you. If there's any of this that you already know, or you this is not something for you, just send your questions and then we'll make more na lang based on what you want. But I just want to hit as much people as possible. I just want to create as much value as possible to people. Um, Again, my name is Marvin Germo, and I'm a stock market trader and investor. And the reason why I keep doing these videos is let's create a avenue where financial education, investing, the stock market is placed also on a pedestal, that it's something that's talked about. It's nice that there's a lot of vlogs about pranks, dogs, comedy, food, travel, entertainment. That's all great and good. But I really believe that it's time for financial information to become mainstream also. That it's time for videos like this to become something that's talked about, to become something that's part of how Filipinos live their lives, especially in an era like this, that we are stepping into a new normal. We are stepping into something that's uncertain. Having cash, having a buffer of cash, having cash flow, having assets working hard for you is so important. And that's why we have this channel. And if you're new here and you want more of that, subscribe, smash the bell so you get updated every time we come up with new content about investing. By the way, yesterday we talked about the Dito technical launch. I talked about top three stock trading principles. Then if you look at the one here sa upper portion where there's six people, we have Gus Cosio, Efren Cruz, Alvin Ang, Rex Mendoza, Jerome San giving their thoughts and ideas. Then we have the effect of the BSP rate cut in the Philippines. Then we also have FAMI fund manager who handles 10.5 billion pesos. How do fund managers think and how do they trade? We have a video on dividends, then APVI. By the way, I've been getting a lot of questions about APVI. If you guys have questions about it, put them in the comment section below and then we're gonna make videos on that. All right, so let's begin. Are you guys ready? So these are your questions. We're answering them. I hope it adds value to all of you. So let's go. Question number one. Mike Sevilla. Sir Marvin, how about risk management? Using fundamental analysis, what if your open position drops like 10 to 20%? So essentially, that's a paper loss still. He hasn't sold because his question is, how should we cut loss in this scenario? Or do you recommend it to holding it for a really long term? Thank you in advance. So I asked this question, did the fundamentals change or just the price drop? Then he replied, Marvin, no, Germo, no change in fundamentals, sir. Just a drop on price. But say it's already bleeding like 30% paper loss. Should I still hold it? So I asked another question because here's what's interesting, no? The best way to answer people. Ngayon naman si Siri sa watch ko yung tumutunog. But anyway, the best way to answer people is to drill down and keep on asking questions until you help them arrive to an answer. But I asked here, when you say no change, everything that you like about the company from a fundamental standpoint is still there. So I'll just make an assumption that he's gonna say yes, that he bought this company as an investor because he likes the fundamentals. Now, syempre ibang kaso sa trading, no? The cut loss for trading, in my opinion, is pretty much predicated on technicals. If the technicals tell you to sell, you get out, and you try to live and fight another day, use your cash to buy another stock. However, for investing, here's the thing. The name of the game and your goal on why you are coming in and positioning is because there's something about the company that you saw based on your list of parameters, based on your list of indicators using fundamental analysis that you really, 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 really like. What does that mean? If you see the stock drop, but all of these indicators, all of these parameters are still intact. By the way, I have a video coming out tomorrow discussing all of this, but they're still all intact. Then what do? You don't have to do anything. You don't have to panic because the company is still good fundamentally. And here's what's interesting. Ikaw nag-define ng fundamental parameters na yan eh. Regardless of what it may be. That's what we're gonna talk about tomorrow. But regardless of what it may be, you defined it eh. So why am I saying this? Scenario, if you see the stock down, but none of the fundamentals have changed, none of the indicators that you placed have changed. Two options. Number one, totoo, you can hold because the company is still good eh. Nothing has changed eh. Nagbago lang naman presyo eh. And I assume since you are an investor, you have already done the due diligence that you have the patience, you have the discipline na kahit down siya, hindi ka magpapanik. Na kahit down siya, in-invest mo lang sobrang pera. Na kahit down siya, you're putting an amount of money na long term. So my suggestion is if the fundamentals is still good, na inaral mo talaga yung fundamentals. That's why there's a lot of things that I would focus on in this channel talking about fundamentals kasi dapat alam na alam nyo siya eh. Kasi yun yung kakapitan nyo. When times are bad, if you don't know what you bought, you will panic. I'll repeat it. When times are bad and you do not know what you have bought, you will panic. But if you know and you know and you know and you know what you've bought, regardless of what other people will tell you, and you bought it because it's full of analysis and your analysis is full of conviction, you will stick with it. The only time you get swayed is if you don't know what you're buying. Napilit ka, gumaya ka, etc. So to answer the question, everything that you said fundamentally is still there. The stock dropped. you can hold. But wait, if you have cash and nothing changed fundamentally, it even became more undervalued, and you are an investor, not a trader, then it's a good position for you to actually add more. It's a good position for you. Remember, the name of the game still hasn't changed. Buy low, sell high. The lower you buy it from an investor's perspective, and then you have so much time, and provided the fundamentals are good, you will get more money later on. And that's why it's so important that you know what you're buying, because when everything is so scary, when everyone's so scared, when emotions are running high and people are selling, but you saw based on your analysis na mukhang okay pa rin to, you buy with conviction, you hold with conviction. And I keep saying this all the time. Investing in the market is never about beating other people. Investing in the market is all about running your own course, running your own race, hitting your goals. Whatever target you have, that's what you need to narrow on. That's what you need to double down on. That's where you need to spend a lot of your energy on. And that's where people, there has to be a lot of talk right now, not about trying, doing, and comparing themselves to other people, but you do what works based on your analysis. So to answer your question, fundamentals did not change. Hold. Fundamentals did not change. You have cash. By all means, liberally invest. Put. Buy low. Wait. But again, may kailangan ba ng pinag-aaralan to? Kailangan ba ng skill? Oh, bakit? Fundamentals takes skill. The ability also to exercise patience while nothing is going on is also a skill. So I hope I answered your question. Grabe, first question pa lang, we're at the 12-minute mark already. I don't know how long will this be. Oh my gosh. Comment below if you're learning. If di ko to matapos and then lampas na ng I might do another video. But yeah, that's the first one. I hope I answered it properly. Comment below if you're learning. Number 2, about the Dito technical lunch. Dun sa video na yun, from Raymond Cruz. Hello, Sir Marvin. Is it possible for you to have a video comparing Dito right now versus those telco giants Globe and PLDT when they were just starting slash putting up their telco business, for us to have a better idea if Dito is doing just fine as of the moment or if they are still in track? Thanks in advance. So I can make a video on that, but I just want to answer this right off the get. Please remember, they're not apples to apples comparison. Why? When you look at PLDT, they were already in the business, and the name of the game was landlines. They were a monopoly. They were agawan, unahan. If you watch the Rex Mendoza video where he bought PLDT at 6, it dropped to 3, he bought again, because in his idea, he knew PLDT was a monopoly. So kahit anong mangyari, walang kalaban, that they will earn money. And looking at it from that context, I'm sure if you were not yet born at that time, you don't know what was happening. Not everyone had a landline. Nag-aagawan yung mga tao para magka-landline. And there was what you even called a party line na dalawang bahay hati sa isang linya. And that made them so different. Then Globe started to come into the picture sometime in the 90s. But the name of the game, landline was still there. But the name of the game at that time was cell phones were starting to gain prominence. GSM, text, and call was already pushing its way through. So PLDT pivoted also, sabay PLDT, Smart, and they eventually had Talk and Text, etc. But they were earning lots of revenues from landline, call, and text. Globe, on the other hand, started to push, but they had a very, very small market share. Just so you know, 2020, Globe has a bigger market share than Smart slash PLDT. But at that time, PLDT was the market leader. Globe, their technique, they were making money mostly from postpaid. They were targeting a specific market, and their margins were relatively bigger because they were targeting postpaid. So please remember, late 90s, early 2000s, it was a different story. It was a different ball game because it was all call and text. Then eventually it shifted to unlimited text, unlimited call. Then it shifted already now to internet. Then, as you all know already, 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, everyone started to have their own iPhones. Everyone started to have their own Samsung phones. Then the China phones started to come in. Mas naging mura yung mga smartphones. Now, suddenly, the game is not anymore call. When was the last time you made an international call using a landline? No one has done that. When was the last time you used your phone to make an international call? No one has done that. Why? Because you have Viber, because you have WhatsApp, because you have all the other applications that will allow you to make an international call via data. So I think it's not an apples to apples comparison because uh, Dito is going straight to 4G and 5G, whereas PLDT's time was different, whereas Globe's time was also different. So one thing that's more important is it's also harder to compare them apples to apples because the scenario is different. When PLDT started, wala silang kalaban. When Globe started, they just had to take market share from PLDT. When Dito is coming in, they're fighting companies that already have established markets and even larger coverage. So just that. But if you like more on this topic, guys, comment Dito versus PLDT versus Globe in the beginning. Ang haba ang haba. But if you like that, just put origin story na lang. Comment origin story if you want more of that, and we're gonna drill down on that as well. Next, number two. Hala, humahaba yung video. But I hope you guys are learning and this is helping you. Number three, dito technical launch from Ronaldo Lugtu. Dapat di mag-effect yung strike 1 nila. Context on yung strike 1 was because they're not hitting the July 8 deadline. Kasi NTC should adjust the technical launch, let's say 3 to 4 months. It's unfair to say they use the strike 1 if we really know that delay was caused by the national lockdown. Dito should appeal for the original date adjustment. Hope may idea is acceptable to NTC. Any comment marks? I don't know. I honestly don't know. What my technique in investing is I try not to guess. That's why if you notice the videos, I would always say that I don't like speculating because I don't like to guess. I'll just wait up until if up until what happens to any decision. If NTC says or whoever whatever department will say that okay lang because this was caused by the lockdown, it's not really your fault. We can adjust it, no penalty, no grace period. Or if they will enforce it, hindi kailangan grace period. So it pushes dito into a it pushes dito that they will be forced that they need to comply and finish faster. So ako, my technique is I try not to base my decisions based on what I cannot see, what I do not know, what hasn't happened yet. I'll try to see based on the facts that I know. So yun lang yung masasabi ko, that if uh they they were given leeway because of the lockdown, then it will be good for them. If they're not, then it will be an added pressure for them to finish and comply with everything. That's question number 3. Next, question number 4 from the top stock request video. Sherwin Rasco. Thanks for sharing your analysis. Kindly consider doing analysis of available technology stocks in the Philippine Stock Exchange. Recent global trends show tech companies like Amazon, Microsoft, Alibaba as among the largest companies now leading the recovery in global markets. Is there any stock in the PSE approaching these tech stocks? Excel and Glow? Uh, the best thing that I can tell you is this, and I can only share based on what I do and my experience. If you can't beat them, join them. There's really nothing much in the Philippines that's similar to Google, to Amazon, to Alibaba, to Microsoft, to Apple, to Tesla, to Facebook, to Zoom, etc. There's none. Not much. Not even something that's very very close to what they all do. That's why I've been making a lot of videos about it. There's a link in the description for sure about investing globally, because It helps you diversify in other stocks, in other industries na wala sa Pilipinas. It helps you diversify, it helps you invest in other, it hedges you. And for those who know me, na ka-close ko talaga, I've been telling them that my US stocks have done massively better in general versus my Philippine stocks, because a lot of the technology stocks that I have been investing on in the US, true story, parang walang coronavirus. Some of them, their stock prices were massively higher already than way before the coronavirus crisis ever, uh, before it even happened, before it even begun. So that I could have never had that exposure if I was just focused on one market. So to answer your question, wala eh. Uh, if you really like exposure to companies like this, you better invest in them. And totoo, they're the ones pulling markets up. And for those who attended my seminars, another thing that you can consider is companies connected to 5G, companies connected to artificial intelligence, companies connected to fintech slash blockchain, and the list of possibilities are endless. Pag AI pa yan, there's a lot of talk pa about big data, machine learning, driverless cars, drones dropping stuff from you sa mga pinadeliver mo sa Amazon. Ang dami pa. But totoo yun. Uh, since a lot of this tech you access via the internet, you access Google, Amazon, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp, Viber, Shopee, Lazada, all of this using data, the closest thing that you could ever do right now, PLDT and Globe. Converge will go into a very large IPO. If you want me to talk about that, put it in the comment section. We're going to drop videos on that. But that's the best thing I can tell you. No tech stocks. Buy the ones heavily connected to technology, or that runs the technology, the platform, the back end behind it. So if you're in the Philippines, just buy the telcos. If you have exposure to other markets, buy them directly or buy a fund that heavily connects to them. I hope you guys are learning. I hope this is something that's helping you. Next, Roxon Tiangco. I think si Rockinson, he's the one making the summary. Kung napapanood niyo yung mga video, may comments. Tapos nandun yung timestamps ng mga topics. Thank you for doing that. I'm sure madami sa kanila dito nag-appreciate din sa ginawa mo. But here's the question of Rockinson Tiangco. If someone is already confident in trading, is it advisable to take a loan from a bank? I'm just thinking that instead of saving monthly for the stock market, why not get the money now, then invest it in the stock market? The saving will be the monthly amortization. Just a thought. Uh, I can only share from what I do, because my technique is whatever I share to you are things that I walk on, are things that I do. What gives me the confidence to invest in the market? What gives me the audacity na kahit bumabagsak lahat, I can still sleep soundly at night? I'm not scared. I do not panic. I do not fight my wife. I do not fight my mother-in-law. It's basically, dapat minamahal ang mother-in-law, guys. Comment below kung na, if you agree with me. It's basically because, number one, I only put money that's extra. I only put money that I don't plan to touch. I only put money that kung mag-zero siya, makakatulog ako na mahimbing. That will never happen kung yung perang linagay ko sa market, inutang ko. I would not be able to be as aggressive as I am right now if the money that I put in is borrowed. Why? Because at the end of the day, you will second guess yourself, because kung nagkamali ka, for sure may babayaran ka na loan. So ako, I'd rather go out guns blazing, full strength, even if it's a smaller amount of money, pero it's my money. And the thing, try it. If you borrow money, you will be hesitant in some trades. If you borrow money, you won't be able to go full conviction in your trades. If you borrow money, there's one thing that I know. I don't know how much you will earn 9 months from now. But what I do know is yung loan mo, babayaran mo pa rin. Mahirap yung madaming variables. Pag nag-trade and nag-invest na nga tayo sa stock market, sobra. There's so much variables attached to it already. Sobra dami ng variables. There are things that we cannot control. So why will we add another layer of item that we cannot control? Your goal is to simplify things. Your goal is to remove some of the things that you cannot control and just stick and drill down and double down to things that you can control. I cannot control the loan, but I can control the amount of capital that I deploy. And I'll say this as a friend, as a friend, uh, wag magmamadali. The reason why a lot of people, and I've seen this in clients and people who attended the talks, that ask about borrowing to invest in the market because gusto nila malaking pera kagad. Huwag magmamadali kasi dadating din naman kayo dun eh. You don't have to rush it because you will always get there. The fastest way to get there is to do it slow. And the thing about that is this eh. You may have the money, but if you, kunyari, gusto mo magkaroon ng 10 million, linon mo yung 10 million, nakuha mo kagad, and you said that you already have the experience in 2 years. You have 10 million pesos, but the experience of 2 years. But what if trinabaho mo, it takes you 7 years to get it, or sabihin na 5 years to get it? You not only have 10 million, but you have the experience, the acumen, the skill that help get you the 10 million. And for me, that's better. Because 10 million with the acumen, the experience, and the skill is much, much stronger than 10 million and pera lang meron ka. That's why madami kang makita na businesses nalulugi. Kasi kala nila, basta may pera sila, tatakbo yung negosyo. It's not money eh. Please remember this. Money is not everything. Money is not the most important resource in business and investing. There's so many things that's so important in all of this. I hope you guys are learning. I hope this is something that's helping you. The video is dragging along, but I hope hindi boring. Please comment if you're getting something from this. Please comment if this is something that's helping you. We are closing into the 30-minute mark already. Parang nanood na tayo ng Ang TV. Okay ka, Ferry ko. Hindi ko alam kung alam niyo yung mga shows na yun, pero yun yung shows ng bata ako. But uh, I hope that you're staying for this because I'm sharing as much as I can, trying to answer what you guys want to know also. Next, this is from the video, The Top Dividend Stocks in the Philippine Stock Exchange. It came from Kevin Ray. Thanks for the info. Watching here from Kuwait. Shout out to you guys from the Middle East. Maganda ang SPC in terms of dividends. That's true. Ask ko lang, if I buy the stock worth 1,000 shares and I'm already entitled for these dividends, once another declaration of dividends posted again, and di ako nakaabot sa X date, makakakuha pa din ba ako ng dividends niya? As of still now, as I'm assuming he's asking, as of now I have 1,000 shares pa din. Hindi ako nakabili. So to answer your question, if you want to qualify for the dividend, you need to own the stock a day before the X date. So it's July 2 today. If the X date is say July 3, everyone who owns the stock today, even though ibenta nila yung stock tomorrow, will be entitled to the dividend. What does that mean? So if you have 1,000 shares, hindi ka na nakabili to get yourself into the X date, you will only get dividends for the 1,000 shares that you bought or that you currently have. So yung technique doon is if you really are a dividend investor, it would be prudent to own the stocks way before the X date so that you also get to buy it at a cheaper price. And since you get to buy it also at a cheaper price, malaki yung chance that even if you sell at the X date, you may have a gain also. So I hope that answers your question. So buy it or you have to own it way before the X date. So there. From the ABS-CBN stock update. And this is interesting. Interesting yung name niya. Feel the sounds of nature. So his question is, Sir Marvin, question. Should I sell the stocks I have at ABS-CBN? Ah, the answer to that is this. It depends on your trading plan. I don't know if you're a trader or you're an investor, but if you're an investor, please silipin yung fundamentals. If your parameters to sell from a fundamental aspect has been it, sell. Ganun din as a trader. If your narrative as a trader, your parameters, your indicators have been hit, you also sell. Now, if you're asking me my opinion on how the company will be, I think it's safe to say that because we don't know if they will have a franchise and their cash cow really is their traditional broadcasting because they make a lot of money from commercials until they resume operations, until they have their license back again, until they get to operate, there's a shot, there's a chance that if they're not really operating and getting their bread and butter back, they may not get the earnings that they were getting in previous years. Then it brings to the question that how big will they earn? Or will they even earn? Or will they even get losses? And please do note, by the time we're making this video, news broke out yesterday that Sky Cable, one of their revenue drivers also, is closed. And as you all know, they also own Kidsania. Because of this lockdown, Kidsania is also closed. So, unless their digital streams of income make a lot of money for them, all of their commercials will shift. And aside from them shifting, the ads that they will get somehow catch up. From a revenue standpoint, it may be harder for them and to justify the current valuations that they have. But please do note they also still have assets which are part of the value of ABS-CBN. But just to simulate what could possibly happen, if they don't have a license, there's a big chance that a lot of people may lose jobs. But not just lose jobs, they have equipment that's not really being used. They have items that they still need to maintain, which all will incur cost, which as a company could probably push them into negative territory. So I hope I answered your question. Next, from the video, how to turn 5,000 to 50 million. Hello, Marvin, from Magdalene Legados. Any questions? Any suggestions pala? Pagod na yata ako. With with the same principle of compounding but dollar denominated currency. I've been looking but couldn't find one, and I feel I'm at a loss if I just leave them at the bank. As they get to earn more using my money, your insights would be greatly appreciated. So ganun din. Please do note, you can watch this video. This is a very, very interesting video because I showed there that if you compound something, meaning, for compounding to be effective, it's basically this. Number one, you put a specific amount of money. Yung specific amount of money na yun, you don't touch it. It never goes out. And as it earns, yung kinita rin niya, you reinvest it. So it does, for me, in my opinion, I'm having trouble hearing you. Ayan na naman si Siri. Anyways, it doesn't matter if the rate of return is the same or fixed because you can hold it and reinvest what you get over and over and over. So my suggestion is this. Find an investment. It could still be equity. It could be dividend paying stocks that, for example, the dividend in the US is 2%. Just an example. So the dividend stock gives you 2%. Every time you get dividends, you reinvest it. That's still compounding. Compounding is not an investment product. Compounding is a principle. So it could work for preferred shares, it could work for bonds, it could work for stocks that have dividends. That's why it even works for MP2. Because the principle of compounding is you put a fixed amount, yung fixed amount that you put in, you don't take out. As it starts to earn money, what you earn, you reinvest it, you don't take it out. And then you still put in money on a regular basis. And the money that you put in on a regular basis also, you put in, but you also don't take out. And that's where the magic is. And that's why if you watched, I hope you watched this video because it shows you na lalaki rin yung pera nyo eh. And all you need is time eh. The problem sometimes is nagmamadali tayo eh. And I keep saying this all the time, huwag kayo magmadali. I know, that's why you don't compare yourself to other people eh. That's why you don't watch what other people are doing eh. You just stick to your race. Just follow what you're doing. Because if you follow what other people are doing, if they're doing very, very well, maiinggit kayo eh. If they're not doing very well, yayabang kayo. Never compare. You don't have to. You don't even have to show off how good you are in your businesses also eh. Run your own race. Why? Because in investing, it's always about time. And I'm saying this as a person who has seen it, that it has worked. Yung mga tinanim ko noong 2007, inani ko some years ago. Nung inani ko siya, tinanim ko sila ulit. Tapos nung inani ko ulit yun, tinanim ko sila ulit. At meron ako tinanim noong 2007, 2015 ko lang naani. Tapos tinanim ko ulit. Time is the greatest multiplier. Huwag kayo magmamadali. And people are saying, paano yan? Kung time 15 years, 20 years, matanda na ako nun. That's why I keep saying this in other videos that I have. Don't do the stuff na gusto nyo gawin. Start the business na gusto nyo. Mag-stocks kayo. Hindi lang dahil pera habol nyo. Dahil gusto nyo rin siyang gawin. Kasi kung pera lang yung habol nyo, when times are bad, malulungkot kayo eh. For me, this is the game eh. I'm not merely doing this kasi gusto ko mag-stocks para kumita. I'm doing it kasi nag-enjoy ako eh. And I think that's the most important thing. You have to do what makes you happy. You have to do what makes you feel alive. You have to do something, and if it earns, jackpot. If it doesn't, find something. Keep on experimenting, keep on trying, keep on doing. Because if not, totoo, yung 15, 20 years in that time will suck. If it's too long and you're not loving it. That's why hindi ako nagmamadaling mag-beach ngayon kahit lockdown. Hindi ako nagmamadaling mag-travel ngayon kahit lockdown. Because what I'm doing right now, I'm enjoying every single moment of it. That if you love what you do, and I'll say this over and over without hesitation and without doubt, that if you love what you do, you will never work a single day in your life. So there, sobrang layo na ng topic. Pero I felt that I needed to say it. If that was for you, take it, run with it, do it. There. I hope you guys got a lot. Subscribers of the day. Ito na. Bian. Hello sir, isa pong OFW. Nang dahil sa inyo, pause nyo na lang. Medyo mahaba. Para hindi ko nabasahin. Medyo napagod ako. So you can read this. Pause the video. Read it. It's nice to hear success stories like this of Filipinos doing well abroad. And it's nice to hear success stories of people who get to save, who get to hustle, who get to earn a lot, and get to do well. That's amazing. So to Bian, I don't know if you will ever see this video, but salute to you. Another subscriber of the day. From the video, Millionaire by 22, Bankrupt by 30, Bernadette Pisueña. Thank you for sharing this video. Love your channel. Haha, was watching one of your videos and you said something along the lines of, puro na lang si Nico and Erwan na lang ang maraming views. Haha, so true. Deserve more views. O naman, guys, si Nico at si Erwan, galing nila. Bigyan nyo naman ng pagkataon ng isang taong hindi gwapo. Subscribe. Smash the bell. Like. Next. From the video, top stocks request. Shelly W. Stay till the end and I've been following you for years. Thank you, Marvin. I'm grateful to be following someone who has the heart to help people and whose intentions are as loud and great as his message. Grateful for the values, driven self-starters who share the same desire themselves to help people. God bless you. Thank you, Shelly. Lastly, saan na ba yun? Ayun, dito technical launch video. Luis Masilang. Time check, 2:45 a.m. Very informative, Sir Marvin. Thank you for this video. I'm currently interested to buy stocks in Dito. This video helps me what will be my next move. Thank you so much. So to everyone who keeps sending messages, comments, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate the questions and I'll never stop building content for all of you. And lastly, ito daw inaabangan ng mga tao, they always, ever since I've been putting this at the end of each video, sabi nila, I'm staying until this. Hindi na lang siya inspirational part. In some of the videos, maglalagay tayo ng quote of the day. So kung gusto niyo ng quote of the day, comment, I want more quote of the days. Or syempre nasa last part ng video to eh. So, if umabot kayo dito, sabihin nyo, I want more quote of the day. So, I know that gusto nyo pa to, or I stay till the end if it's something that's helping you. And this quote, truly, for me, is so powerful. It's from the one person that I truly admire, truly followed. Syempre, there are some aspects of his life also na to some hindi sobrang ganda, but he's amazing. Steve Jobs. Don't let the noise of other people's opinions drown out your inner voice. You have to do you. Don't care what other people say. Don't care. You don't have to care what other people are thinking about you. You don't have to care about the crowd. All you have to ever focus on, all you ever have to listen to is you, your inner voice. Run your race so strong that the crowd, the noise, people who don't matter to you, their opinions don't matter. Because at the end of the day, it's your race. No one will run your race for you. And guess what? I'll just share this from a YouTube perspective. I've met a lot of people so good in business, so encouraged to start their own YouTube channel so that they can share their insights in business. Then one person commented, ang taba mo, hindi bagay sa'yo mag-YouTube. Tigil mo na yan. They got so hurt. They stopped. Never let the opinions of people you don't know determine how you live and walk your life, regardless of where it is and regardless of where you are. You walk your walk based on the purpose that has been set for you. You live your life based on what you are called to do. You live your life unashamed, not caring about what other people will say, think, or do. Because at the end of the day, what they, except most probably for your wife, some inner people in your family and your inner circle, everyone else, they shouldn't matter. Eh. What matters is you know and you know and you know you're walking your call. You're doing right. You're not hurting people. What you're doing things with moral ascendancy and integrity. If that's the case, keep on pushing, keep on hustling. At such a time as this, we need more people like you who will bring things forward, who will push forward, who will disregard all the negativity. And you know why? One of the reasons why I make videos like this is in social media, it's always people tearing people down. You just go to Twitter, you see a lot of people fighting each other, saying bad stuff at each other, people fighting over politics. The reason why, what my primary motivation also why I keep doing this is sa 120 plus thousand na subscribe sa akin sa YouTube, sa 130 plus thousand na followers sa Facebook, that I grab their attention, that instead of them listening to trash, listening to just people fight and bicker, they get to hear something that will add value to them, make them richer, make them grow, make them good business people, make them good investors, take them one step closer to financial freedom. And to be honest, it's not easy to make videos daily. It's not. The amount of work and effort to do it, it's also a lot. That's why I just love it. Because if you love what you do, you'll never work. This isn't work. It's tiring at times, but it's not work. It's tiring at times, but I know it's something that I love to do. That's why, even na late na to lumabas, gumawa pa rin ako. Kasi that's my commitment That it's nice to be inspired to do things, but it's nice to have the discipline, the patience, and the follow through that even when it's hard, you still do it. You still commit, and you still push. I hope you guys got a lot from this. If you did, like, share, subscribe, because it really helps spread this video uh, throughout YouTube. The more people liking, the more YouTube knows that this is something that's helpful to a lot of stock investors. So appreciate it if you can like. My books, all five of them are in Shopee. Book one is already available. We got it from the warehouse already. Because of the lockdown, people were asking, bakit wala pang book one? It was because of the lockdown. So the warehouse where it was stored by the printer got locked down. So essentially, that's basically it. But now it's available. Link is in the description via Shopee. You can grab it. Two online courses also below. The VPN that I use for my internet every time I transact money, banking transactions, it's there for security. And also the virus scan that I use so that I'm safe every time I transact online. Link is in the description. eToro, for those who want to invest in US markets, link is in the description. Then all of the other stuff that you want to know, my gear, link is in the description below. And that's it. What was the best thing that you learned from this? What was the top thing that you learned from this? Uh, you have any questions? Put them down below. And yun lang, same thing, 45-minute mark. Please do let me know if you stayed up until the end. So that's it for now. Marvin Germo. I hope this video helps you. Trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, guys, and God bless you.